Hey, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Before the Phantom Menace, before the special editions, before any of the stuff that George Lucas totally fucked around with the Star Wars universe, there was Shadows of the Empire. Shadows of the Empire was a massive multimedia project set up by Lucas to see if people were still interested in Star Wars. It would take different perspectives of different Star Wars characters and tell the same story but through different mediums. From video games to comic books to novels. It was massive. It was all multimedia and merchandising set around a movie that would never be made. There was also action figures, collector's cards, even a soundtrack. And it was a very ambitious and clever way of just getting the hype for Star Wars back without actually making a movie. Now, a lot of you guys, if you do know of Shadows of the Empire, it's probably through the N64 game. This game rocked. It was told from a character of Dash Rendar, a almost Han Solo-like character who went around in a Corellian cruiser called the Outrider. It had you play in different formats, from a third-person shooter to space aerial combat to flying a hover bike to a snowspeeder. It had you in iconic locations like Hoth, fighting bad guys such as Boba Fett and IG-88, and it was awesome. It was also incredibly difficult, but it mainly told the story from Dash's perspective, and it did encompass a lot of the elements from the different perspectives, mainly from the attack on the Skyhook base owned by the evil Princess Izor to the encounters with Boba Fett. This game is awesome. It had a very, very kind of lore-inducing kind of storyline, which you got to go to locations you heard about in Star Wars movies but you never saw, and you got to see a bit more of infamous characters and bounty hunters such as IG-88 and Boba Fett. And it is an awesome game. If you have an N64, I implore you to check it out. This is probably something that you guys do know about. Other things that were released to coincide with the Shadows of the Empire storyline was the awesome Shadows of the Empire comic written by John Wagner, who you would know from 2000 AD. It is a story that tells mainly from the perspective of Boba Fett and his trials and tribulations of trying to get Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. It also tells a bit more from Prince Izor's perspective. Now, Izor is the leader of a criminal organization called the Black Sun. The rebels are trying to work with him in order to rescue Han Solo. However, they don't know is he's working with the Emperor and also trying to usurp Darth Vader as the Emperor's hand. He's trying to kill Luke and make Vader slip up. Vader is onto him, and it's kind of cool. You see, while Vader is a villain, he's probably the most fatherly you will ever see him in a Star Wars movie or kind of storyline, unless you count the end of Return of the Jedi. Vader is trying to protect his son and has a character called Dax sent to a planet to make sure he isn't killed. Dax, along with Dash Rendar from the Shadows of the Empire game, have to stop Luke from being killed by a gang of hover bikers known as the Swoop Gang. And it's pretty cool. The artwork by Killian Plunkett is amazing. If you are a comic book fan, I highly recommend you pick this up because it is a wicked, wicked comic. And if you're a fan of Boba Fett, which I am, it is a perfect addition to your collection. As I said before, Dark Horse Comics done some wicked Star Wars comics, and this one is no exception. The last kind of multimedia I own is the Shadows of the Empire novelization done by the wicked Steve Perry. He done a fantastic pillar of Aliens comics, and this one tells a couple of different perspectives. It goes a bit more into Prince Izor than the comic, and you really get to learn that Izor, while he is a villainous character, his race was killed by Vader in a kind of genocidal maneuver under the orders of the Emperor. And you also get Vader's perspective, and Vader is like very cold and calculating. He doesn't want Luke to be killed by Izor. He wants to turn him to his side, and he even plots out how he's going to overthrow the Emperor once Luke is on his side. The writing is fantastic. You have kind of moments with Dash, you have moments with Luke, but this is mainly a Prince Caesar and Darth Vader story, and it is a really good read. I highly recommend it. You can probably pick it up on Book Depository for a fairly good price. And if you want to learn more about the whole Shadows of the Empire project, there is a brilliant book by Mark Kotavaz, who done this Secrets of Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, which goes into all different aspects of the of both the games, the comics, the soundtrack, action figures, everything. And it is a wicked read. And if you get a chance, I highly recommend you pick it up because it is an absolutely beautiful book. As with all expanded media, when Disney took over the Star Wars license, all of this stuff became non-canon, which is really disappointing because you lose such great characters such as Prince Caesar. He's been washed away along with the likes of Mara Jade and Kyle Katarn, and it is really disappointing. I hope that these characters are maybe reintroduced into canon the way that Grand Admiral Thrawn was introduced into Rebels, and hopefully we'll get to see a resurgence of some classic characters. If you are a Star Wars fan, chances are you probably know about this. If you're new coming into the franchise, I do say give this a try. A lot of people are trying to say, look, forget it, it's non-canon, but it is really worth a look. There's some fantastic stories to be told in both novel and comic book form, and the video game is amazing, guys. If you get a chance to play it, if you think Dark Souls is hard, try playing this. It's a fucking nightmare. So that's my review of the whole Shadows of the Empire franchise. If you've any comments, if you've any favourite kind of expanded media parts of Star Wars, be it comics or novels or video games, leave them in the comments below and we'll have a chat about it. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.